A quick look at shares in TC Energy, the pipeline giant. Actually just had an investor day. Stifel is actually cutting their target price on the stock. They have a buy, but they are bringing down the target price to $73 from $80. Partly, they're just reducing their 2024 onwards estimates based on company guidance. But of course, as a transition, Russ Girling is passing on leadership to Francois Poirier. Russ Girling, a long-time boss of that company. Let's get to this deal, though. It's fascinating that TC Energy has struck with an outfit called Natural Law Energy, and that's an Indigenous-led alliance. We're joined now by Travis Meguinis, CEO of Natural Law Energy. The deal here is where Natural Law Energy will invest up to $1 billion in the Keystone XL pipeline. Travis, thanks very much indeed for joining us. Could you start off by telling us which Indigenous communities are involved in Natural Law Energy? Where are they, please?
Thank you, Andrew. It's good to be back. We're reporting live from Victoria here in BC, but the First Nations that are involved are Plains Cree nations. So you have the three Meguinis tribes: Montana First Nation, Ermineskin First Nation, and Louis Bull tribe. And you have up in North Battleford area, Little Pine First Nation. And in the south, in Saskatchewan, you have Meguinis First Nation. Those are the five.
So, sorry, are they all Alberta and Saskatchewan, or did you say Montana?
Well, Montana Cree First Nation is part of Meguinis four-band nations.
Sorry. Okay.
So they reside in Meguinis territory, traditional territory there, in Treaty 6, just south of Edmonton, Alberta.
No problem. So Alberta and Saskatchewan. Now, the plan is to invest up to $1 billion in Keystone XL. So this would give you an equity stake in that actual pipeline.
Exactly. So the plan is to invest in 12% of the equity stake in the Keystone pipeline. But also there's lots of different projects along the line that, this line has been redesigned and has been efficiently set to, look as the greenest line in the world. So it's something that's just down the road from First Nations natural law constitution, and that's what natural law means. It's a constitutional word for our people.
Could you tell us? Did you say a 12% stake is what's being envisaged right now?
Yes, sir. 12% is right.
12%. Fascinating deal. And of course, you know that you won't necessarily be finished with that. There might be other projects, TC Energy projects, that you'll buy a stake in.
Yes, exactly. And then along the line, we're come this far with TCE. We have some great relationships there with a lot of the senior execs. And, I can't say enough about Bevan and Lewis, just to name a few, that helped the whole process and brought this process to, from birth to, where it is today. And it's something that we like to think about in natural law, that we take care of like a baby.
Have you faced any pushback from people in the Indigenous community? As you know, some are opposed to pipelines. Some are concerned. They say, obviously, pipelines are facilitating more fossil fuel production, more greenhouse gas pollution. Have you faced a debate within the Indigenous community over this?
Well, when you look at the risks in investment, and as any businessman, you look at all the risks that are situated with the Keystone. One of the major things are political risks as well as social risk, and it's a contentious issue when it comes to our First Nations. And our First Nations, we like to say that, what natural law means, it's very constitutional. It means that, we're true about what we do. We're true about what we say. The honesty and the truth behind natural law is something that brings out our character and how we move forward. And the whole contentious issue is, as leaders, we don't tend to push our own people back. but we would try to understand where the chiefs and where the council members, all these tribes weren't just signed on by the chiefs, but it was also the leaders. Leaders had put, a lot of dialogue and a lot of time. This is a very serious issue. We even reverted to our traditional ways, our natural law ways, and our own governance. So, if anybody ever wanted to sit down, we have a number of chiefs, number of leaders that would like to, say and give that understanding. And, it was something that we went to our forefathers for the blueprint to how to bring the nations together. We did it at treaty, and treaty was the very first partnership that all our ancestors and our forefathers had come together to share the land within the depth of a plow. And this is how we created natural law, the organization, as well as the company. But it's a sovereign and it's a First Nation perspective and ideology when it comes to business. And this is something that we're very keen to support.
One final thing, Travis, I'm sorry, you've only got about 30 seconds. Is there a possibility you might bring US Indigenous communities in, or are you open to expanding the membership of Natural Law Energy?
Of course, we're open to, talking with, our people anytime, and we're open to ensure that, we're getting the right messages from leaders, as a past leader myself and a carrier of that sacred headdress. I open up dialogue to all leaders, and our partners to SDCE are, very, very supportive with that as well.
Fascinating stuff. Travis, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you,
Travis
Andrew.
Meguinis heads up Natural Law Energy.